You are listening to Radio France International. Israel's parliament, as we've heard, has adopted a law defining the country as the nation-state of the Jewish people. Members of the Knesset, Israel's lower house of parliament, approved the plans by 62 votes to 55 after stormy debate. Critics say the law marginalizes the country's Arab minority. RFI's Mike Woods reports.
The Declaration of Independence of 1948 established Israel as a Jewish and democratic state, but Israel does not have a constitution. Instead, it has what are called basic laws that do things like establish the separation of powers and protect minority rights. One of these, from 1992, attempted to enshrine the Jewish and democratic values, but supporters of the new law say that has been problematic. Emmanuel Navon is a senior fellow at the Cahlet Policy Forum, a Jerusalem-based conservative think tank that lobbied for the new law.
In the past 2 decades, Israel's High Court of Justice has been extremely active, canceling laws of the Knesset based on 2 basic laws passed in 1992. There is a basic law that says that Israel is both a Jewish and democratic state. But what happens when there's a contradiction between those 2 values? The former president of the Supreme Court, Justice Aaron Barak, wrote in 1992 that in case of such a conflict, the word Jewish should be interpreted, quote, in the highest level of abstraction, meaning it should basically be ignored. So the basic law that was passed last night is basically filling a legal void.
The law speaks of Israel as being the Jewish historical homeland and says that only Jews have the right to self-determination there. Criticisms from Palestinians living in Israel and the occupied territories argued the law effectively legalizes ethnic superiority and an apartheid system. Emmanuel Navon offers this reply.
Most countries in the European Union, in their constitution, talk about the national identity of the state, and the status of the European Union, the Lisbon Treaty, talks about the respect of national identities. What Israel did with that law is actually to adopt a principle that appears in the constitutions of most nation states, including in Europe, which was lacking so far in Israel's constitution. And I would very much recommend to anybody making those claims to simply read the text of the law, which I believe has already been translated into English, and judge for themselves.
From the Palestinian perspective, though, in Israel, the